everybody, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Heather. We're a fun, fabulous sewing channel where I am always me and I encourage all of you to be you. Thank you so much for being here today. We are actually making a, well, depending on when you see this, I guess, a brand new pattern. Right now it is testing phase, but launching very soon. So when the pattern launches, the video will launch too. So same day. So if you're watching when this video is just released, then it's a brand new pattern. We are making the Palm Bag by the Bag Goddess. And I was doing tester bags and videos for, like, I was doing a lot of them last year. And I'll tell you, I got a little bit burnt out on them. I like to sew, like, in my own flow, my own vibes, and I'm not a big deadlines person. So testing bags is really fun for me because I love new patterns, like obsessed with new patterns. They're everywhere around here. But like timelines aren't always my jam. So I'll probably do a little less testing in 2026 of new patterns. But as soon as I saw this one, I was like, we have to do it. Like, we have to. It's beautiful. I'm going to show you. Are you ready? Stop it. You guys. Okay, so again, this is the Palm Bag. Now, when you see pictures of this bag, you're going to think it's a big tote bag. It is not a big tote bag. It's like a mini tote bag. Or like a micro tote. It's small, okay, but not too small. It's great for everyday use. All right, so it is 11 inches wide by 7 inches tall. And I'm going to say the depth is probably about 4 inches here on the bottom. It's fabulous. Look at this bow. It's my favorite. Listen, you're going to hear me say this 8,000 times throughout the video, but it's my favorite way to construct a bow ever. Okay. We've got a zip. We're binding on the top, you guys, and we're using the most fabulous full leather binding ever that you don't have to make. Okay. And that's also why I decided we need to do this pattern, because I had this fabulous binding. And the inside on the back, we've got a zip pocket. On the front, we have a slip pocket with an accent panel. Our zipper extends, so that's what you see here. And then you'll hear this too later, but I totally forgot to cut out the base panel from the lining, and I didn't have any lining fabric left. So we put a piece of vinyl in there as our base panel on the bottom, and I actually think it works perfect. It's the same as our base panel here, and it's just like, yeah. Okay, so it's not a quick sew bag. This is definitely a bag with multi-steps. We're using connectors here. I mean, it's so cute, you guys. We've got a gold strap if you want to wear it as a crossbody. We're using handles, and we also hacked handles here too. So it's not a quick sew. It's not going to be a bag that you can make 10 of in 2 hours or anything like that. Obviously, if you saw how long the video was here, it's not a quick sew, but it's a worthwhile sew. It's one that you're going to want to do over and over again. And as with anything, the more you do it, the faster it'll be. If you're looking for a bag that will make a statement, that's easy to sew, but not fast, this bag is going to be what you want to get. I'm obsessed. I can't believe how good it turned out. I do not need another bag, but I want this bag. I want it. We also use like a green zipper, which I'm like, again, it's just obsessed is the word of the day because it's so, so cute. We could have put purse feet on if we wanted to. We didn't. But it's an easy add-on if you wanted to add it on. And I just like, yeah, I mean, how can you not be excited about a bag that looks like this? All right, so I will link the pattern in the description box of my video, and anything else that I have links for is always linked down there. So make sure that you expand the description box and check for all of the links that you need to be able to find what I'm using or similar things to what I'm using, bag patterns, etc. It's all in there. Let's head on over to the machine and get going. All right, you guys, we're at the machine, which as always is a Juki TL 2010Q. We're using Tex 35 weight poly blend thread from Waywack, and we're using a variegated thread today, which just means it's a variety of different colors all in one sort of thread. We're using Desert Sands, and it's a mix of tans. Once we sew a bit, I will show you so that it makes sense. But that's in the top and the bobbin. We have a Microtex 9014 needle in, and our tank foot for high shank machines. Numbers on the side of this foot are KT141. Okay, materials today. Our exterior is a mix match of vinyl from your vinyl source, I think, and then vinyl that I've had for so long I don't remember where it came from. But I'll link your vinyl source. They have our interior is actually from there also, so they have great material. My lights just flashed. And it's a waterproof canvas that we're using on the inside in this oatmeal color. It has the backing. It's fabulous. I love using their waterproof canvas. These are all of our bow pieces, and that's what we're starting with, so I'm going to take those. Okay, so that's materials. We're using a bag tag from that was custom made from Etsy, and from ArtiFoxStudios. I will put that name in the description box as well. There are instructions for making straps, okay? If you know me, you know I don't like making straps. So, I got this double-sided vinyl strapping, 1 inch wide, from Amazon. And so that's what we're going to use today. It'll save us some time, but also, like, these are fabulous. They are really a good quality. I used these in the last video that I did when I made a strap, and I'm just like, they sew great. They're just great. I love them. It's easy. I got them in a 3-way color pack, and fabulous. I will link these in the description box as well. But so since we're not making our own straps, you guys, I cut these. So this is a 1 inch wide strapping. I cut each handle at 18 inches long, just so you know. So it just gives you a different option if you also don't like making straps. Don't let strap making stop you from making a bag. You can still make a beautiful bag and use some pre-made strapping, and it's going to look fabulous. Okay, so that's that. Our long chain, we're going to do a gold. I'm going to assume this came from Amazon too. It was in my stash of gold hardware, so if I can figure out where it came from, I will link it. And then we are using strap holder bridges from Waywack in gold. We've got pretty gold zipper pull. We're going to use this green. And this is from Indolove Creation. I'm like 99% sure. We're going to use this green. It's not like matching, but it's similar colorways, and I just thought it would be a nice little pop there on the top. So that's what we're using. And then the game changer in binding. Okay, so this top is bound together, and I actually kind of love it. And I didn't love it until I found this stuff. It's a vinyl, it's a faux leather, double fold binding, you guys. Look at how classy it looks. It is, and it's finished on both sides. This is going to be so easy for us to just pop on the top of our bag. And there we go. Finished strip, and it looks finished. This is also from Amazon. I have it in black too. I am obsessed is like an understatement. I am actively trying to figure out ways to use this, and so this bag was perfect. Okay, so that's what we're using for our binding. I think the only other thing that we're using that I don't have here in front of us is rivets for our strap. Otherwise, I think I showed you everything this time. I hope. All right, we're gonna get going on our bow. Now, Our big main pieces, I'm actually leaving singular. You're supposed to like double them up and sew them together, but I'm just thinking materials wise and the weight. When I put this on the bag, I want it to sit really nicely. I want it to sew well, and so I'm actually just going to leave these as they are. And the way this bow is constructed is really cool. So the middle pieces, they kind of sit in a strip. We are going to put those together. And I'm just doing like kind of like a loose clip on here. So this will create a design on the front and the back. And I think one of the things that's great about this pattern is that you can decide, like, if you want to double these up, yes. If you don't, like, that's fine too. We're doing a combo of both. You know your material and your machine, and so you can do you and make your own choices. Okay. This is like our little center bubble. And anything that doesn't like match up perfectly, also not a big deal. You can just trim off all the excess once you get everything sewn together. Okay, and then the only other two pieces are these, and we're using different material, obviously. I was actually on Scrappies of this and didn't have enough of it to be able to make a front and a back, so that's totally fine. We just use the back of our accent, and again, totally fine. We're just gonna roll with it. So you can see our pieces don't line up. I'll be doing some trimming, not a big deal. All right, so that's everything that we need to sew. I'll go ahead and I'm gonna stitch together one with you, and then we'll be following the same process. It's just a top stitch all the way around all the sides and all the pieces of the bow. And a top stitch is just 1/8 of an inch away from the edge. It's such an interesting way to do a bow. I've done multiple bows before and never like this, so I'm excited to see how it turns out. So I don't know if can you tell the thread is different? See how it's like lighter and then darker. So that's what a variegated thread is, you guys. It's just like, you can kind of see it here. Oh, I can't. It just adds some, like, it's cool, you know? It adds some coolness. And then basically these go like this. Isn't that cute? So cute. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and stitch up our other accent piece, our center, and our bow tails, and then we'll put it all together. All right, we got everything sewn and trimmed up, and I did this one already. You're leaving the long sides open. You're just stitching those, like the short ends, and it just creates this like really cute and cool effect for the bow for sure. So we'll do this one together. So you just line up those short edges and we're just going to stitch across. Easy, easy. That noise you hear is the back of my foot trying to grab onto material. All right. So we've got these all set. See how you can see we're getting a little bulky with material? Now basically, I marked the centers. And we're just going to do a little mock-up here. I'll mark the centers of the bow. Okay, so it's going to go like that. And then this guy is going to go over like so. Isn't that cute? All right, so I'm going to try to stitch these on, I think. I don't know if my machine can do it. It's a ton of layers, but I think I would feel better if it was stitched on. So let's give it a go. Let's just try it. Let's try it. Oh. We're just going to take it like one stitch at a time. Not the best, not the best. I don't know, you know, just like gluing stuff makes me nervous. And only it being glue, you know, makes me nervous. I mean, it looks like it's stitched through. See? I feel like it could be better, but it also could be worse. And so I'll stitch the other side and then I'll stick some glue in there because we're going to have to we're using Fabri-Tac. And that's what we're using to put the front on also. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this second side the same way. Keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. Okay, and then, yeah, I'm going to do this and then we'll pop back together. All right, not the best, but it's sewed, and isn't it the cutest? Okay. So basically what we do to finish it off, you guys, is we're going to use glue, and then we bring these to the back like so. See that? Is that not the cutest? And it's actually a really easy way to make a bow. So here's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it off camera. I'm going to stick a little bit of Fabri-Tac here and here, right next to where we sewed. I will do the same thing on the front, and then I'm going to put them together and sort of clamp this, and that will keep it nice and sturdy for us, glued together while we work on putting our handles on and prepping the exterior of our bag. So cute, so cute. All right, so one of the things that I love about this pattern is it gives you the spaces for where to put the strap, where to put the bow, and you're not measuring. You literally just transfer the pieces basically, and you also have a little guide as to where to pop your rivets into the handle. Now these handles are not sewn on, they're riveted on only. So if you don't have a rivet machine, you can just use the placement of it and sew a box around. That would be totally fine. We're using just these matte black because I love the matte black with the gold. Like, it's one of my favorites. And I did this off camera. We'll put our bow in together, but the handles are easier for me to do at my rivet machine, which is in a hot mess over here, if I'm being honest. But basically, I just took the pattern, I laid it over, I marked out, and you can still see some of the marks here. I marked out with my air erasing pen where to place the handles, and then I used the rivet placement guide, put it in the center, put holes, and put in my rivets. I still have to set them, but that's basically how easy putting on a pre-made strap is to this bag. Super simple. So we're just going to press these, but I'm going to go ahead and do the other side and just make the slit for the bow. And then we will put the bow in together. All right, you guys, handles are secured. Now I have drawn the line for the bow, so I'm just going to take our seam ripper and rip through that gently. Always makes me nervous. All right, and we've got our bow. Look, guys, look how cute. I literally can't stand it. It's adorbs. All right, so we're just going to take this and we're going to stick it through. And it should be a pretty tight fit. I was a little hesitant on our rip because, just because we'll just extend ever so slightly. And we're just going to get everything kind of through this hole here. All the layers, we're almost there. You want it to be tight, trust me on this one. There we go. Okay, so we're just going to keep kind of pulling. Is that not the most adorable thing ever? Totally is. Okay, and we kind of want to get it where we want it. And then we're basically going to glue these down, which just makes me so nervous. I wonder if we can get in there and sew. Right? Like, kind of talking to myself, but I wonder if we can just like stitch right there. That would make me feel so much better about this. All right, let's try it. We're just gonna try it. You know, what's the worst that can happen? No, I think you'll see it if we try. So I guess that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna glue it. Kind of don't like that. But that seems to be the only option. It's so cute though. All right, I'm gonna grab the Fabri-Tac again. I'm gonna do this off camera because we're gonna have to like hold it. I'll have to press it down with something heavy. Maybe the iron or something. So I'll hold it so that it stays basically where we want it until the glue sticks. And then I'll set it to the side. We'll start working on our base panel. But I mean, yes, right? It's adorable. All right, so while the glue dries on the front, let's start to attach the bottom panel to the back. So there's about a 1/2 inch here, and that's where we're gonna attach our base panel. And our base panel is folded over by a 1/2 inch. So instead of like stitching together and then top stitching, We're literally just stitching our panel on. So whatever you like, you could totally stitch and top stitch. I'm kind of like, I drew a line so that I could make sure that we stay. Because my machine really dislikes double-sided tape, I did not want to utilize double-sided tape here and mess up the really pretty work that we've been doing. So yeah, we're just gonna top stitch this panel on, and I'm gonna try to stay on that line down here, make sure we're good to go. I am back stitching. I'm always back stitching. Again, I'm just watching that line. Doing it like this has us stitching through heavy interfacing, so we'll probably have to clean our needle off after. I can feel the resistance. All right, I'll show that to you here in a second. Just chopping off the thread. Okay, so there's our base panel. Now I'm going to stitch this side on exactly the same way. Let's see how we're doing with our glue. Yeah, I guess it's all right for us to work with at the moment. I'm going to do that same line on the bottom, make sure we don't get our bow at all, and I'll stitch our base panel onto our front panel the same way. All right, bottom panel is on, you guys. Now we just need to sew up our sides and box our corners, and then our exterior will be done. So we're just going to match up the top. This is really exciting. Then we can move on to the interior. We'll give our bow a little bit more time too. All right, we're going to follow the seam allowance given in the pattern and just sew down our two sides. And we just want to make sure that everything stays together, even if it seems like it wants to come apart. Okay. Actually, I might come up because I don't want our bow to be like scraping across the base of our machine here. So I'm going to start from the bottom, even though I like to start from the top usually. and now we can box our corners. And so this should be relatively simple. Just pulling your sides apart to kind of get that box. We'll take a look at this in a second. We're gonna pre-box and see. It looks pretty good. I am opening our side seam. I'm just gonna take a look from the inside. Looks like we're pretty spot on, I think. This is such a cute little bag. All right. We'll go ahead and box the corners. So I'm just going to kind of smush our material down, basically. I'm going to do an initial stitch here, see if we caught the corners. We're good to go. Or if we have to get a little closer. Actually, I think we did pretty good there, you guys. So that's the right seam allowance that we want. Pretty good, pretty good. Oh yeah, good on that side too. We did it. All right, I'm gonna leave it like this for now. I still really wanna just make sure that bow is stitched together well, but I'm gonna set this to the side and then we'll move on to building our interior. All right, we are on to the interior of the bag and we're gonna start with the zip pocket. So I've got one of our zip pocket panels and I've drawn the zipper box on there, and this is part of the pattern pieces as well. So like I said, I love when pattern designers do that. I'm just folding this in half. This is waterproof canvas, so it creases really nicely. I think you can see the crease I made here. We're putting this an inch down, so I just went ahead and drew an inch mark on there. Line it up with the center, and we're going to pull out our handy dandy hockey tape. It's not a typical sewing tool. It's just clear tape. And hold our pocket down while we stitch around our zip box. Just a temporary hold. Okay, so now we're just going to stitch all the way around our box. And it doesn't matter where you start or stop. You just want to make sure that your zipper pocket panel is right side down. So right sides are together, or else you will end up with your half of your pocket inside out. And right back to where we started. I think you can see the variegated colors now. See that? It's a cool little way to add some fun to your projects. Just pull your tape off here. Okay. Now basically what you're doing here is, my lighting is weird today. You're gonna draw, I call it a Y. You're just going from corner to corner in, and then you're basically just looking for the center, and you can measure this if you want, but I've been making pockets like this for a long time, so we just eyeball it. We're eyeballing. Okay. And we're going to seam rip down the center and up those Y's to the corners. Through our main panel and our zipper. Okay, and then as close as you can get to those corners without cutting through them. Snowing right now, so if you hear banging, it is snow shovels. And then I just like to crease right on those stitches that we just did. I don't know if it helps anything, but it makes me feel better, so we do it. You know, like when you do things in sewing, you just like, and then you're gonna pull it through. You just can't like stop, because then it's like some sort of like superstition. Like, what if I don't crease it? What if it doesn't come out as good? That's where I'm at. Alright, and you're just moving your pocket piece to the back now. And we are going to just pop our hand in here. We're going to push up on that seam. And we'll use clips to kind of hold it down. This is one of my favorite ways to do a pocket, and it's also the first way that I ever learned, so very beginner friendly. If you've never like input a zip pocket before, I would say this is one of the best techniques for a beginner. And so I like that this bag features that, because it doesn't look like a beginner friendly bag to make, but a lot of these techniques are very simple. They're just compounded onto each other to make a bag that looks really high-end. We just lost our zipper. Okay. All right. So that looks really good. We're going to let that sit for a second while we put our zipper pull on. So I've cut a zipper length. It's just longer than you need. I kind of wing it, eyeball it. I know that's not always super helpful when you're following along, but the pattern gives you instructions for how long to cut the zip. So we're going to put our zipper pull on, and you're also going to be instructed here to use double-sided tape but we're not going to do that either. And that's just because this machine, I don't care what people say, but this machine, it gives me just so much trouble with double-sided tape. Skip stitches, it drives me crazy, and then it makes me want to pull my hair out. And so we are also just winging putting in this zipper. I guess it sounds like we do that a lot, but you'll see, it'll work out. All right, so we'll take our clips off. And so, like, if you're good with double-sided tape, like, definitely use it. If you're not, or if your machine isn't, we're gonna go tapeless, and I'm gonna show you that it can still look beautiful. So I'm just gonna, again, good press here. Okay. We're gonna take it to the machine. We're gonna get it in here. We're gonna pop our zipper in, making sure that we have enough overhang on both sides. And we do. And then we're just gonna be like really cautious. We're gonna watch where we're stitching. We're gonna watch our space in between and our zipper, and we'll just readjust as we go. And it will be fine, I promise. Now our zipper looks like metal, but it's not. We still take our time going over it though. Okay, move our pull out of the way here. The big thing to remember here is just to make sure that you've put your zipper pull on before you stitch this box. Okay, and then we're going to go right back to where we started. And then you just kind of like hit your loose threads with some heat. There we go. See that? Perfect. And we didn't have to use double-sided tape. All right, leave our zipper in the middle. Go ahead and trim your threads on the back too if you have any that are kind of wild. Take your other zipper panel piece, put it right side together, and just match up all of the sides. There's the snowblower. We're actually, you know what, we're gonna hit our zip here with some heat to seal those edges. All right, so once you're clipped all the way around, we're just going to, from the top side, so our main panel side, we're going to stitch it together. We're going over the zip again here, so again, I'm just kind of taking my time just because I'd rather take my time now than break a needle later. And you're going all the way around here, so even across the top. Okay, there we go. Finished zip pocket. I am just going to cut off the bottoms here. Make sure that they don't interfere when we attach the base of our lining, which you guys, we forgot to cut out, by the way, and ran out of material. So we're going to be doing something interesting for that. All right, but before we get there, let's go ahead and do our slip pocket. So we have our 2 slip pocket pieces. We're just going to put those right sides together. And we're sewing across 3 sides here. We're going to leave one whole side open because we have a slip pocket accent piece, which is, this is the easiest way to do a slip pocket. So this bag feature is the easiest way to do a zip pocket and the easiest way to do a slip pocket. Very beginner friendly, all level friendly. Okay. So just across 3 sides, we're going to leave one totally open side. Okay, and you want to cut those corners, but you want to make these cuts like come into the corner. It'll help when we move this material. I'm going to cut down this bottom also. This waterproof canvas that we're using, it's pretty hefty, so I like to cut down our extra. Okay. And then just flip it right side out. And just try to get into those corners as best you can. My nails are prone to break, so I'm gonna see if I can use a tool to get in there. You do want to try to push out as much as you can because we're going to sew over this, and if it's really hefty in there, you're going to have some trouble with your needle probably. Okay. All right. Now we're just going to go ahead and do a based stitch across the top of our slip pocket here. Just to hold it in place, that way we don't have to worry about it when we are putting on our accent piece. Okay, so we've got our accent piece, and we're just gonna kind of fold it right down the center to give us a little center mark. You could mark it with a pen if you wanted. Okay, and then just fold it over. And then we're just going to stitch it on, easy peasy, and it creates just like a really cool look. Our thread has been giving me a hard time since I changed the bobbin. So maybe it's the bobbin that's giving me a hard time, but we'll probably change it for our final top stitch when we put our bag together to match our binding a little bit better. That's good. We're good. We're good. Okay. Just cut off your extra. Oh, we have to do our tag still, you guys. I almost forgot. All right, here's our second lining panel. Find the center, give it a good crease. We're coming down an inch. Okay. We'll find the center of our pocket, and we're going to grab that hockey tape again. Just to keep it in place for the time being. I would be curious to hear what your non-traditional sewing tools are. Sure you have some. This is definitely my #1 non-traditional sewing tool. All right, I think those two will be good. So we're just going to stitch around all sides except the top. And this will secure our pocket to our lining piece. And we're just going to make sure that we sew this top on very well. Slip pockets are most prone to breaking in the top corners because they get that's where they get all their wear and tear. Okay, you guys, there we go. Our slip pocket is complete. Now, we do need to just add our nameplate. Maybe we can add it. Can we add it up there? All right, we'll add it underneath. I do use double-sided tape here and just put it in the middle because we never sew over it. And I'm just kind of eyeballing the center, what looks good. And then I'll just make sure that we move our pocket out of the way here. Okay. And we just top stitch around 1/8 of an inch. All right, so we're gonna use an exterior piece as our base, which makes me a little nervous because it's definitely much heftier, but it's okay. It's okay. And we're doing this technique. We're putting right sides together. I'm going to sew from this side so I can see, and we're doing a 1/2 inch seam allowance here. Which is just right across the bottom, that little bottom lip. Okay, like so. Now, the one thing I am not super sure of here is, it looks like we don't stitch this down. So like when it's in there, yeah, I mean, I guess that's right for a lining, right? Okay. So we'll do the same thing here for the second side. And we'll stitch it on exactly the same way. We're almost done here, you guys, so that's exciting. We're going to add our zipper to the top, and then we'll box our bottoms. And because we had to use a little different material, I'm going to do the bottom a little different than the pattern instructions, but I sometimes like to do that because it gives you just a couple of different options based on what you're comfortable with, so you don't not buy a pattern because you don't know if you like the method. You know, I feel like I have to sew it down. I feel like I have to. I'm gonna sew it down. right, so I'm just pushing it underneath the base panel here, and I am going to top stitch. It's just because we use something so thick. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side just to kind of flatten it out. I just think it'll sit better like that because of what we had to use. And then we'll move on to our zipper. All right, I think that's better. You know. All right, we've got our zipper and we have a 1/2 inch mark drawn, and we're just gonna fold at that mark right there. I use heat to hold these together. We're making a 90 degree. And not that much. If you're like super uncomfortable with heat, there are different ways that you can use, but this is my preferred method. I like can't feel my fingers anymore anyways, so. And then I just spaced it down. Okay, you kind of make that mark just to make sure that it folds in the same, at the same level, size. You want your 90 degree to be the same or as the same as you can get it. All right. There we go, guys. 90 degree. Done. Easy, easy. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we've made marks for the pattern for where our zipper starts and stops. We're going to put this on. We want our zipper to go in the same direction as our zipper on the inside, and this is our back panel here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to clip our zip. Okay, right side up. And this mark here, where we need to stop, I'm going to transfer that to our zipper. And we're going to stitch it on. Oh no, we went past it. What? We went past it. I wasn't paying any attention. You guys, we didn't backstitch here, so we'll just rip out what we need to. Were you screaming at me? What was I doing? What was I thinking about? I don't know. I don't know. You know, this would happen sometimes when you sew though. Sometimes you're like in the zone and you're thinking about other things, even though I'm here with you guys talking about the things that you need to pay attention to, and your girl here is not paying attention to them. All right. All right, there we go. We're good now. We're good. Wow. All right, so see what we're doing here? And then this is going to be like in the top eventually. So we're just going to come over. We're going to bring our zipper I'm going to detach these in a second, but I just want to make sure that we've got everything the way that we need it. Wild, guys, wild. That's what happens. That's what happens in sewing. Okay. All right. And now we're just gonna pull it apart. I like to wait till the end because then I'm sure everything matches up perfectly. And now let's sew on this side. There we go. All right, now we can put our bag together and sew our sides and box our corners. So we'll just match everything up. And I'm not going to show this to you because we're doing exactly the same thing that we did on the exterior. Okay, so we're going to stitch down both sides. Make sure you pay attention to the seam allowance here. You want to make sure it matches so that your panels on the interior match your panels on the exterior. The pattern is going to have you box your corners with the exterior. We're not doing that because, like I said, I ran out of interior material, but the instructions in there to do it are actually, they're very well written, and so if it's a technique you want to try, I definitely suggest you do that. It'll ensure that your base on the interior, it always stays attached to your exterior, so it'll never come up or out or anything like that. It won't move. It's actually a really, really cool technique, and we could have done it, but I also wanted to show you that you can still make this basically it's basically a drop-in. We're using binding to finish it. So you can make it as a drop-in bag. If you're uncomfortable with boxing the corners together with the exterior, like, that's totally fine. There are multiple ways. There's always multiple ways to make a bag. There is no right. There is no wrong. There is just the end product, and if you like your end product, then it doesn't really matter how you got there. Truly believe that about sewing. Some people sometimes will criticize something that I've done, and that's fine, but that's not me at all. You guys hear me say it all the time, you do you, I'll do me, and however we get there, we get there. All right, I'm gonna box these corners just like the outside corners, okay? So same exact concept. And then I'll grab our exterior, we'll put in our bridge connectors, drop in our lining, and then we're just sewing around the top, you guys. We're almost there. All right, we have all of our pieces. I've attached one connector over here already, and we have a scrap piece of Decaville. Our connectors come with these backings, and so it's really easy to figure out where you need to make your marks. So in the pattern, it tells you how much to come in, down, and over. So we've got our marks. I'm just going to use my seam ripper. I'm doing it off camera because it's hard to show, but I'm going to seam rip through these two marks and these two, and then we'll install our connector, and we'll just put some tape over the metal backing once we're done and everything is secure in there. Just pushing that down, and then we'll be able to pop in our lining. All right, so we've got our holes. We just want to stick through like so. And then we put our extra Decaville in here also. You just want the extra structure. Put your backing on, and then fold. Just push them real good. And those are your connectors. Okay? So those are good. They're on there. They're on the back panel, technically. And that's fine because we have the bow on the front. So it gives us just a little bit extra. All right, I'm just going to take some adhesive binding. And just go right over those. Okay. Easy. It just covers that metal so that over time it's not like rubbing up against your material or anything like that. All right, let's pop this in. So this would already be together if you sewed your bottoms in, so whichever way you did it. Right, so I'm gonna do some finagling, get everything in there. What I'm going to do next is just go ahead and line up our pieces where they should go, so that we can do just a based stitch of everything together. All right, we're all together. It looks super cute. It really does. Okay, so I'm just going to baste around the top before we add our binding, because I don't want to worry about anything coming out while we're sewing. All I want to worry about is making sure that we sew everything and get all of our layers together. So let's get these layers together for now, and then we can add our binding. I'll probably change the angle of the camera here so that you can see a little bit better. Let me just get this needle in. All right, so again, just a based stitch here, just enough to keep everything together for us. And you just want to move your project as you go. We have those bridge connectors on here, so just be cautious. This is why it helps to baste first. Okay, and we're coming to where our zipper needs to kind of fall away. Just get in here with our screwdriver, or if you have like a tool or whatever you have. All right, so that bridge connector, that's going to be difficult for us. We might have to turn this bag inside out. I'm not sure. Not sure, you guys. We'll have to We'll have to do some critical thinking here. We're coming up to the next little zipper bit. Make sure that all of your bow and, oh yeah, this is stressful, and your handles are out of the way. I think I'll feel better once everything is together. Try to keep moving your project as you go. Okay, so when we tried to go over near the last bridge connector, it kind of kicked us off our material. Which is why I think we're going to have to turn this inside out to put on the binding. We'll see. We're almost back to where we started. Again, this is just a based stitch to keep everything together. All right. I'm going to take a look, and so here we go. We got it basted, right? And then the idea is that we're going to put binding to finish it, which is going to be, it's super cute. But we've got to troubleshoot, right? We've got our bow, we've got our connectors. If I turn this so that we stitch it, I'm going to try to turn the bag. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to switch out our thread to match our binding, and then we will give this a go. All right, guys, so turning it is honestly, it's not ideal, but I think it's the only way for us to get like a good final stitch on there. So we're going to take our binding and just clip it all the way around. Oh, I was like, what is that? That's our zipper. All right, so we'll keep going until we get back to where we started. We just want to make sure our zips kind of stay out of the way. All right, and once we get back to where we started, just gonna do our best for a nice straight cut. There we go. Okay. Looks like we have our zip ends out. Everything looks good. I'm nervous. All right, let's go for it. Besides putting our zipper pull on and attaching our chain strap, this is our last step. So while I'm nervous, I'm also excited because we're almost there. All right, so we're starting on the back side. Basically underneath where a handle will be up. And we're just gonna take our time here and be just the most patient sewist ever. Oh no. Okay. Pulled away somehow. So again, this just goes back to taking our time, being super patient. Not that we weren't, just we gotta be really cautious here. Sorry if the view is not the best. I tried to put you guys at an angle that would make it so that you could see, but also make it so that I could still also see. Okay, and we just want to make sure as we get to these zip ends that we make sure those stay nice and flat as well. I'm like so nervous. We're almost back to the beginning. Almost there. Just keep going, you guys. Just keep going. This like top binding technique is brand new to me, so we're gonna give ourselves some grace here. Back to where we started. Sorry guys, I just hit you with the screwdriver. Whoo! Okay, but we did it. All right, I'm gonna flip this bag off camera back to right side out, and then we'll do our zip ends and attach our strap. Okay. I'm obsessed. It's so cute. All right, we're gonna put our zipper on. When you're putting a zipper pull on, you can kind of like feel it click together if you have it in the right spot while it's in there. Stop it right now. Oh my gosh. I don't know what to say. This is adorable. Okay. Stop. Like, stop. What? Oh my gosh. I can't believe I made that. So we're gonna put our zip end inside the bag once we complete it. I'm gonna cut it down a little bit now that we have our zipper pull on. We don't need it to be that long. Okay. Again, we're just gonna burn those ends to seal them up. And I'm just gonna take a piece of this binding that we used for the top, and that's what I'm going to stitch on to be our zip end. I don't have any gold ones, and so this will work just fine. Like I said, we're going to put it inside the bag. Obviously, you can put it outside the bag if you like that better. I'm good with it inside the bag. Just want to make sure it's in there. And then we'll just cut off our excess. Burn any back threads. And then to get it in there, it's easiest to just kind of do one of these. Stick it down in there. There we go. Okay. All right. Let's head to the finish table. We'll take a look at it all together. We'll attach our gold strap, and oh my gosh, so cute. All right. We just clipped on our strap, and yeah, I love it. I do. I think it's great. The binding that we used, it's so high class. I'm glad we changed to a thread that matched it, because we got a little zigzaggy. That was my fault. I was so nervous. But like now that we've done it, I think I'm less nervous and more prepared to do it again. But it looks like something you would buy in the store. I love the slip pocket in the front for I keep my keys in the front slip pockets. And in the back zip pockets, I always keep my lip gloss sort of all those things that I, sort of the things that I'm not going to use all the time, but that I need every day. This is a great everyday size bag. Again, it's 11 inches wide by 7 inches tall, and I'm saying about 4 inches deep, just guessing based on looking at it. Let's just zip it up here. It's just like, I mean, like, I love that so, so much. Got our strap. I can't see, but it's just, it's perfect. It sits really nicely. The handles are perfect for, right? We got a little elbow carry. This is a great elbow carry bag because of the bow. It's so cute. So cute. I'm gonna tell you, you need to make this. I still am not the biggest fan of just how the bow is glued. I'm going to try to work on figuring out how else to secure it in there. But like, we moved this a lot. We turned it inside out. We turned it again. We turned it again. And it still is exactly where we put it. So, I mean, the glue is fine. It's glue. It's meant for fabric. It's meant for permanent hold. Just like me personally, not my biggest thing that I like to do. So I'm going to work on, you know, like, it would be cool if we could rivet right through the center. You would just need like a really big rivet to do it because it's super thick. So something to think about. I hope that you'll grab this pattern. I hope that you will give it a try. Like I said, that's my favorite way to make a bow. I've made a few bags with bows. Sometimes the bows are really hefty and difficult, and this one was not that at all. It came together so quick, so easy. I would make this bow even like as a keychain separately. I bet we could figure out how to do that, and it would be really cute like that too. So just lots of different techniques and options here with this bag. All right. Well, have a great day today. I'll be back with more fun sewing tutorials here soon, and I will see you then.